the Clippers come into town for this one. Happy holidays, everyone, from all of us at 2K Sports. And do we have a present for you today? This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony, Brent Barry, and David Aldridge. Special treat for our viewers this evening. The sports guy, Bill Simmons, is with us.
It's half of a special treat as Brent Barry is, but I'm going to do my best.
Brent Barry's pretty good,
He's really good at stuff, yeah.
He reads you a lot.
Half a treat is better than the whole treat, right? I mean, come on.
Honored to be here.
Take a look at the Warriors. They're pretty rattled right now after a road trip in which they did not win a game. Now they hope to get back on track here at home.
And really, this hasn't been a favorable matchup for them this season. They've been on the losing end each time they faced off, and you know they need to put a stop to that tonight.
All right, let's set the floor courtesy of Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. Setting the floor for the Clippers. Gallinari and Harris, your small and power forwards. Gilgeous-Alexander and Bradley pair up at the 1 and the 2. And it's Gortat in at the center. And there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul, shot misses. He'll be shooting 2. And the foul called on the Golden State Warriors. The Clippers shooting their first free throws. First trip to the line in this one. The first one falls. And so he's able to get 1 of 2. Kevin Durant, an MVP, multiple championships, but he continues to add new wrinkles to his game and takes pride in that part of his game.
Yeah, last year it was the two-way play and the defense in the first 2.5 months of the year. They faded off. That whole team, I think, got tired. I asked some of the Warriors about it last year, just why they get tired when, you know, it wasn't like 17 was that grueling. They kind of rolled through the league. But I think it's just day-to-day, the bullseye being in the spotlight. Every arena you go to.
Best punch every game.
Yeah, you're out in a Charlotte. It's the highlight of Charlotte's season to play you, and I think it does wear those guys down. I think the next step with him would be, can he evolve into a stretch 5? What could he be, Al Horford basically, and take all the Draymond minutes when Draymond's not playing and just be the other 5?
How many stretch 5s are in the NBA? Can you count them on one hand, or think of them?
It's the Al Horford, and there's not many. There's not many. But, I mean, a 7-foot guy who's one of the best, like, 8 shooters of all time is your stretch 5.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Can Jokic shoot the 3? He can kind of.
Yeah.
He's got an outside shot, doesn't he?
Unfortunately, Jokic stretches the other team's point total when he's out there. So he's a stretch the other team's total to 120 defender.
He's off on the first. Sean Livingston, he's checked in for Curry. And he's good on the second. Warriors have gone 2 of 3 here to start out the game. On the wing, Thompson. Trying to find Durant. He's got it now.
Yeah, some situational awareness there from Klay Thompson. He understands the offense. He understands where the cutters are, and he finds one.
Pass to Gortat. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. Back to Gortat. Fades back. The shot misses. And Golden State will go the other way with it. Last time they came together was in Los Angeles, where they fell to the Clippers.
Yeah, and their last time out against this club, turnovers really did them in. Just way too many mistakes.
Yeah, that had to have been #1 priority for the coaching staff coming into this one, limiting those turnovers and making sure they don't beat themselves this time.
Bill Commissioner Adam Silver believes the 2K Esports League will have the staying power of the NBA, the WNBA, the G League. A pretty powerful comment to make.
And I hope he's right, because I want to be the lead color guy. I want us to be the team. Why can't it be us, Kevin Harlan?
Are you kidding me?
Let's do that. Cut me the check.
Sign
As Rasheed
me
Wallace
up.
would say, CTC, cut the check.
Bill Simmons is here.
I'm ready.
And here is Green after Gallinari made the last three-pointer. And that one's good. Green.
Now Green right now picking his spots, working the in-between area on the offense.
On the wing, Harris. It's stolen by Livingston. And now here's Durant, the fast break opportunity. He kicks it to Livingston. Tries again. The basket good off the assist from Durant.
Well, KD, an awesome job there, just sharing the rock with his teammates.
Clippers trail by 5. The pass to Gortat. Left side, Harris. The Clippers again turning it over. I want to keep it rolling here following the win against Dallas.
And I love the way they just came right out at them in that game, determined to attack the rim.
And it led to them getting a bunch of points at the free throw line. So that aggressiveness caused foul trouble for their opponent. It was a great aggressive attitude that they played with.
Now here's Green. Lays it up and banks it in. Green's got his second bucket of the game to go.
This is as good as it gets for a first quarter in terms of shooting the basketball.
Kicks it to Bradley. Los Angeles with another miss.
Yeah, bad shot there. The trust is lacking. You got to be willing to make the extra pass.
Yep, just too anxious to try and make something happen out there. This is about the team, not about you.
Clippers trail by 9. Gallinari outside. Passes it to Harris. It's Bradley on the wing. Nothing yet on the scoreboard for him. Out to Gallinari. Just 3 to shoot. Looking to end the run. The Clippers keep it alive. Pass to Gilgeous-Alexander. Bradley deciding where to go with it. Just 4 to shoot. Here's Harris. And the rebound goes to the Warriors.
The defense ready for him on that possession. They had to be, because he is so strong in the paint.
Thompson passes to Looney. Gallinari against Durant. Here's Looney. Throws it down as the official calls the foul. It may be a three-point play. That's on Marcin Gortat.
Yeah, pounding it inside once again. They have taken over this game physically.
Well, it's so nice to have the early lead. This is where you want to stick with what's working until somebody shuts you down.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
And that one misses. Draymond Green, everything he brings to the table, his defense, his charisma, his offensive game, a great passing game. Is there a player you'd compare him to?
Well, I have a soft spot for Draymond because we did the courtside show for HBO, the behind-the-scenes finals thing.
Yes.
And he had some of the most unbelievable stuff that we couldn't keep in the show.
No kidding.
Draymond is one of a kind because he's basically a center, but the only other center who's really succeeded at his size was Wes Unseld a million years ago. He's a stretch 5 who doesn't really shoot threes that well, but tends to make them when he absolutely
Steve
has
does
to.
not want him taking threes.
No.
Not at all.
But when he actually takes them in a big spot, a lot of times they go in.
No.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's a great no-no-yes guy.
Yeah.
I think he brings all their alpha. I don't think Durant and Curry are the traditional alphas, and I think he's kind of the bulldog and the
you
let's
need
go
that
guy.
on a good team,
Yeah.
don't you?
And the best thing with him is when he's playing well, they're unstoppable. When he has it, and there's nights, I thought during the 25-game winning streak to start the 16 season, I thought he was incredible. And the intensity that he played with every night was really inspiring.
Triple doubles and
oh my God,
every
and
category.
Taking on crowds and just, I just love that guy.
Well, he's won an MVP. He's won a championship. He's won a gold medal. He's been the MVP in the finals. It's a pretty full resume for one Kevin Durant.
And the Clippers decide to take their first time out here.
Yeah, it looked like they tried to shoot their way out of the slump, and that didn't work. They got to go back and regroup.
Well, no matter how hard it's been, you want to stay positive, stay focused, and maybe a couple shots will get you right back in it.
Let's take a look at the numbers for Kevin Durant. Over the last month, he has been spectacular. He's around 31 points per game, 6 assists and 7 rebounds. They're loving how he's running the show here. His sensational passing really breathing life into their offense.
Something in the coach's playbook here where the schemes fire on all cylinders when he is in the game. A great conduit for them offensively. He knows where everyone is at all times.
And at the offensive end, Gortat probably doesn't get his due. He's got a lot of moves, and he can finish with either hand. And his work on the offensive glass is more than capable.
That free throw good from Marcin Gortat. Bill, a top advisor for the U.S. High School Athletics and Activities Division, recommended that schools adopt esports programs. What's your take on that?
I'm all in. It's probably my son's only chance to go to college, so I really hope it happens. Now, listen, the world changes every decade.
I know.
And you got to change with it. And the reality is esports is one of the biggest things we have now. And if you're under 15, you're way more likely to play video games and be good at that than you are to do anything else. So why wouldn't we be able to benefit from that? The whole esports in general, just the audiences they're getting, and as a spectator event, that's been building. So why wouldn't that work for college?
Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Hey, Kevin, I was able to talk with Doc Rivers a few minutes ago. They have won their one matchup against this team so far. But he said the first order of business was for them to score against a very tough shot-blocking team inside. He said in a game like this, you can't turn down perimeter looks. They could be the key to victory. We'll see if he's right, Kevin.
All right, David, thanks. Well, the challenge of facing this tough defensive squad is right at the front of their minds.
As it should be, because if they're not prepared for every look and matchup that D is going to throw at them, it'll be a long day.
I think he has them prepared, and now it's just a question of whether they can match the energy and intensity that this team always brings onto the floor.
The Warriors have gone 2 for 3 at the foul line in this game.
Shooting 2.
He misses the free throw.
And Draymond Green is a great role player on the offensive end on the floor and makes guys around him better because he's willing to make plays and passes. And then he's got that commitment, that tenacity on the defensive end as well.
Catching up on the changes for Los Angeles. Harrell, he's checked in for Tobias Harris. Williams comes in for Bradley. And it's Patrick Beverly in for Gilgeous-Alexander. That's off as well, so he misses both.
And here in the early going, missed free throws starting to become the storyline. They've been beating them to a lot of those loose balls and rebounds here to start.
Now here's Livingston. Back to Green. To the inside. Durant. Rebound by Harrell.
And forcing the miss there. He just knows how to pressure you defensively.
You hear a lot about rim protection. This is a good example of how valuable it can be.
And before the ownership changed in 2010, the Warriors franchise really staggered.
Yeah, they staggered to the point that in 2012, I wrote a long column for Grantland about, it was like the 60 reasons you can't blame the Warriors fans for booing their owner on Chris Mullin night. And I went through their whole history since they won the title in '74 of just all the horrible things that happened to them, all the dumb moves they made, all the dumb trades, all the things they never should have done. It was extensive. And after things flipped around, people mail me that article all the time, like, can you believe it? We've won 3 titles in the last 4 years. You just wrote this. Feels like yesterday. And it was. It's one of the most amazing turnarounds of any franchise I can remember.
I'm assuming you're a fan of their front office.
Yeah, very, very smart. But, you know, the pieces were there. When they bought the team, everyone thought they overpaid. And not to toot my own horn because I've been wrong a million times, but I was one of the only people who didn't think they overpaid. I just felt like that market was awesome. I loved their fans. It was in the heart of Silicon Valley. It made sense that they should be a juggernaut, you know, and they had never really had good ownership. And as we learn over and over every year at the Knicks, like, owners matter. They just do.
Now here's Beverly following the miss by Lou Williams. Teardrop shot, got a piece of it. Harrell kicks to Beverly. And the Clippers miss again.
You got to be a little bit questioning of the defense because I'm sure they feel foolish for giving that guy that look, but they survived it.
Now here's Jerebko. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 7.5 points a game. Shots good by Durant.
Starting to surge here, and we're only in the first quarter.
And I'm loving what I'm seeing, the passion that they're playing with up and down the floor.
Here's Beverly, still looking for his first bucket in this one. Scott kicks to Beverly. The 3. Williams' shot is off.
And a really smart defender there. He just reads the play, wastes no time trying to blow it up.
And what I like best is that he does it completely under control. Really gives the shooter nowhere to turn to.
And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up. Free throws, such an important part of the game. Here are the league leaders in that department. Second, Stephen Curry. Fourth, Kevin Durant.
Neither one of these guys is going to waste an opportunity from the foul line. They just don't give away points.
And that one falls for Williams. Bill, we know about the love affair you have with the NBA, and you've written about it for so long. Started with the $4 ticket in Boston with your dad.
Yeah, my dad bought season tickets for the 1973-74 Boston Celtics, and it was only 1 ticket. And I think it was $4 a game, probably like $160 total. And he used to carry me in mainly because they didn't want to pay for a babysitter. So I started going to games that year, probably sleeping through a lot of them. And they won the title.
How old were you in 72?
So I was 4.
4 years old.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember anything from that season. The first season I remember is the year later when they lost before the finals to Washington. And then the year later they won the famous finals against Phoenix, the triple overtime game. I was there.
Was Cowens on that team?
Cowens, Havlicek,
Yep.
JoJo White.
Yep.
And I was at the triple overtime game in the 76 finals. Was probably the most famous NBA game ever of the, the kids out there now would nominate like Game 7, 2016 or something, but triple overtime game was the most famous game ever. And I slept through the entire second half and the first overtime.
Oh, no.
But then woke up because everybody was standing the whole second overtime, so I had to get up.
Here's Harrell after the made shot from Andre Iguodala. Harrell, that's good.
I'm not sure who was supposed to be on him that possession. I mean, apparently neither did the defenders.
Got a piece of it. Stolen by Beverly. Jumps up. Rips down the breakaway slam.
Consistent in finding ways at coming up with steals. Patrick Beverly in the shorts of the opposition.
Durant, the pass to Jerebko. Back to Durant. Durant drawing the double team. Feeds to Iguodala. Releases. The shot, no good. And it's the Clippers taking it the other way.
And Kevin, they need to be consistent with their effort on the boards. You look at the box score, and they're at a definite disadvantage.
Jerebko, the pass to Cook. He gets it in there. And the Warriors lead by 9.
I mean, the number of points they've scored in the paint already here is eye-opening.
Pass to Williams. There's the triple. It's rebounded by Golden State.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's going to buy himself a ticket to the bench if he keeps shooting it like that. He has been putrid here this quarter.
And here we are, the Warriors' final season in Oakland. Bill, they'll be moving to a brand new arena across the bay in San Francisco.
Yeah, bittersweet. I'm excited that there's an arena downtown, and you know, the Oakland-San Francisco thing was always weird to go to Warriors games, drop in, figure out where to stay, all that stuff. On the other hand, I thought they had the best crowd of anybody for years and years there. Just like very blue-collar, old school, fans that have been coming for years.
Stuck with them even in the lean times.
Yeah, the lean times were every year.
Right.
They had no year other than lean times. And now that the team got good the last 6 years, you could feel the audience changing a little. And now it's changing a lot. I just miss the Oakland fan base, and I hope, you know, once we expand to 60 teams or 70 or wherever we're going, I'd like to see Oakland get one of the 70 teams.
Well said. Here is Durant. After the basket by Montrezl Harrell. Iguodala outside. Shot clock at 6. There's the pass to McKinney. Over Williams. And he overshot that one, missing. Clippers trail by 7. Gallinari right side. 23 seconds left to play in the first. Back to Williams. Excellent D here by Iguodala.
Yeah, this is where you might elect to pass out of the slump rather than shoot out of it.
Here is Cook. A fadeaway. A shot, no good.
Very dangerous to leave a guy like that open. Lucky break there for the D.
And so it's Kevin Durant making headlines and highlights for the Golden State Warriors. That quarter had to take a lot out of him. He racked up 12 points. We've got more in store for you right after this. One of the most demonstrative players in the game, Draymond Green, speaks about the importance of passion and effort on defense.
That's all defense is. It is effort. It's the effort to want to communicate. It's the effort to take that one extra step to help someone. It's an effort to move up one step to get into the ball as opposed to sitting off the ball.
Well, and he should know, a former Defensive Player of the Year.
You know, he just takes pride in being their anchor defensively. And if he's not seeing that effort, he's going to let you know about it.
And if you're just joining us, we've played through one quarter in this one. What do you guys think about the Warriors here so far?
I mean, through that first quarter, to me, it's all about their D.
There's a lot of ways to build a lead. This one's built on stops.
Curry at point with McCaw at the 2. They're the backcourt. Durant is out there with Jerebko, and it's McKinney in at the small forward. That's the group for the Golden State Warriors to start the second quarter. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Well, the Clippers have hit the reset button, and you wonder how that affects their head coach, Doc Rivers. Now, he seemed reluctant to lead a rebuild with the Celtics, but he's on board doing it with the Clippers. Even though the Clippers relieved him of his title of president of basketball operations in 2017, Rivers has just signed a new extension that will keep him coaching the team for the next few years. Kevin?
Well, if nothing else, D.A., he has guided them through some pretty dark hours. Thank you. The shot's good from Jerebko. Bill, we've seen the NBA take steps to amend the draft lottery. Any further changes that you might recommend?
The biggest thing I would do is I just don't think you should be able to finish in the top 3 2 years in a row. I think there has to be some sort of schmuck insurance for the rest of the league. I'm fine rewarding the one bad season, but when you're just continuously bad, the year that Cleveland, when they won the lottery 3 out of 4 years, I just thought that was a travesty.
Just didn't feel right, did it?
No, it's just wrong. There's 30 teams in the league, and you have a team that really blows the LeBron James era and just surrounds him with the wrong people, and he leaves, and then really can't stay out of its way for the next couple of years, and they just keep getting the #1 pick. I don't agree with that. I think that's bad. I also thought it was bad that Philly was able to get number 3 and number 1 in back-to-back years. And it's bad that the Celtics were able to get the 3rd pick and then the 1st pick. Right. So that would be the one thing I would do. I don't think it should. I don't think you should be able to successfully fail for multiple years.
And the Clippers making a change here. Gortat's checked in. Misses off the left iron.
I'd love to see them impose themselves a little more on the backboard. That's a great way to find confidence. Always a surefire way to get back in the game.
Now here's Marjanovic. Stolen by Durant. Curry attacking.
The aggressiveness on the drive there from Steph. He earns the foul thanks to how he sucks the defense in, out of position, and now to the free throw line.
The Warriors shooting their 6th and 7th free throws in the game.
Two shots.
That's good from Stephen Curry.
Yeah, this is not the guy you want to step up and make his way to the free throw line, but you wouldn't expect that he's going to miss any of these.
And so he makes both from the line. Clippers trail by 13. And here in the second quarter of action with a hair under 2.5 minutes played so far. To stop the run, and that one good.
Yeah, Tobias Harris getting a little bit creative, finding some room on the inside and keeping the defense guessing with that shot attempt.
Here's Looney. He averages a bit over 6 points a game. And Curry the bucket on the assist by Green. And the Warriors lead by 13.
Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
And the Clippers call time here. As the teams head into this timeout, a chance for the coaches now to map out some plays for the next few minutes and a chance for the players to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's important if they want to make sure they don't wear down later in the game.
Absolutely. Over the course of a game, you have to stay hydrated.
And we've got a chance now to get caught up on how the standings are looking in the West as we make the push through midseason. You take a look at the Warriors. They're sitting pretty, second place, and looking to take the top spot. And checking out the Clippers, 2.5 games back.
Yeah, and I think the Clippers, they weren't really being talked about as contenders coming into the season, but they have entered that conversation.
They're in the thick of it, and I think they got an attitude that's well suited for the pressure and intensity of playoff basketball. So when the postseason arrives, look out for this team.
Now here is Harris. He's coming off a 16-point game against Dallas.
And boy, did he have it going offensively. He lived at the line during that game as well, and that's where he got a lot of those points.
Here's Curry. Tobias Harris picking up that last basket. Here's Durant. And a great assist by Curry as that one goes in. Durant's got 18 points.
I'm sorry, that's poor defense down low again. It's been a mismatch thus far in the paint.
Passes it to Marjanovic. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
Oh, nice screen. Really a poor defensive reaction and the obvious result.
Yeah, when you fail to get over the top, more than likely that jumper is going to go down.
Now here's Livingston. He kicks to Durant. And he makes good on the layup. Durant's got 8 points here in this quarter.
Yeah, 3 consecutive field goals have come right at the rim. The D had better start buckling down.
Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. He's a good contributor to his team, averaging about 10.5 points a game. With the fadeaway. And the rebound goes to the Warriors. This game coming after a loss against the Jazz.
And in part because I just thought they came out flat in that game and could never recover. Just not their best effort.
You could see the coach trying a few different rotations in that game, shaking things up, trying to get something going, but nothing was working.
Klay Thompson, he's checked in for Golden State. Clippers trail by 13. Bradley finds Marjanovic. Launches a three, and Avery Bradley gets the three. Bradley's got his second basket.
You got to keep an eye on Bradley, especially when he's looking to pull the trigger from deep. Better when he has his feet set.
Curry fires from way outside, and they wasted no time getting those 3 points back.
And that's from beyond, guys, right back at you.
Yeah, that's a nice response there, leaving a voicemail in return from the three-point line. Looks like we're seeing similar game plans right now.
Over to the left wing. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander, down to 5 on the shot clock. Count it, and the Warrior lead has been cut down now to just 11 on the bucket for Marjanovic.
That was big because they dug a big hole in the first quarter, but starting to show signs of life.
Pass to Gilgeous-Alexander. Now Marjanovic, guarded by Kerr. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. Clippers moving the ball around. And here's Harris from the arc.
And I think that one could have easily have fallen for him.
Curry. Livingston kicks to Curry. Green up on top. Shoots over Gortat. And it's Green missing. Clippers trail by 11. Outside Bradley. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line.
Well, Bradley around the basket knows he's going to face some force, and that time got inside and forced the defense's hand.
First trip to the free throw line for him in this one.
Shooting two, gentlemen.
That free throw good from Bradley.
You talk so much about Avery Bradley and his motor and how he comes to every game with a defensive mindset. I think that's both where his teammates and the coaching staff really respect the type of consistency he brings to the floor.
Mike Scott's checked in for the Clippers. Second free throw, no good. Warriors leading by 10. Here's Livingston. His second shot goes in, off to a good start, 2 for 2.
Got to stay with Livingston. The D cannot let him dice them up with his handle.
Here's Gilgeous-Alexander, guarded by Kerr. And the call will be against Shaun Livingston. That's foul number 2 for him.
And they can't afford to be that careless. They need him out there on the floor, so he has to avoid fouling again in this period.
Scott kicks to Bradley. It's stolen by Green.
Wow, you watched the defender, and it looked like he knew that was coming. He made a quick play on it to intercept the ball in the passing lane.
And they're forcing the ball inside, and it's working like a charm.
Clippers trail by 14. Pass to Harris. The pass to Scott. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. 6 on the shot clock. Harris looking it over. Los Angeles with another miss.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat.
And he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up. A chance to check out Los Angeles' upcoming schedule. On Saturday, they'll be taking on Paul Millsap and the Denver Nuggets. And then on Sunday, they'll be matching up against Kevin Durant and the Golden State Warriors.
And if I'm this team, I'm looking at this as a barometer to see how we stack up against some of the top teams in the league. They'll have to be at their best But if they come out of this with some success, I think it'll build momentum for the rest of the run.
And the first one at the line is good. He hits both from the stripe. Here's Livingston. 6 points for him. Passes to Green. Back to Livingston. To the middle. It's deflected. And it goes out of bounds. That one's off Bradley.
And with a moment, let's check out the stats for Looney. His last 10 games, he's putting up 6 points a night, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. And he's really been pulling his weight. He's had a hand in some big plays here recently.
I think you look across the board right now, and he's just doing a much better job. The numbers bear that out.
That one drops for him. Green's got the lead up to 14 now for the Warriors.
Well, Draymond Green's got to think right now, I'm going to take you inside, and I'm going to challenge you to stop me. I don't get a lot of these possessions, but when I do, I'm going to try to get some points on the board.
And really nothing like a good old-fashioned throwdown to get a team going.
And Greg, they do need to get going. They wouldn't mind, shaving a couple more points off that lead right away.
Yeah, they should bring out a big razor right now, Kevin. A great start, an aggressive move to show they're not going to lay down.
And so here are the Clippers. After the three-pointer from Klay Thompson, Gilgeous-Alexander can't get it to go.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
Curry passes to Cook. Lets the three fly. It's hauled in by the Clippers. Gortat's got rebound number 5 here tonight. To the inside. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. And the layup is good after a nice lead pass. Gilgeous-Alexander's got 6.
And I love the fact that he didn't have to slow down or adjust there. The pass was just timed perfectly.
Green dishes to Cook. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. It's going to be on Avery Bradley.
Clearly a foul.
2.
The Warriors have missed a few free throws up to this point, shooting 4 of 7 from the foul line tonight.
Shooting 2.
That's good from Cook.
No wasted trips at all. They're taking care of business at the line.
And Los Angeles will go for a different look here. Montrezl Harrell, he's checked in for Gortat. Gallinari comes in for Harris. Lou Williams is checked in for Bradley. And it's Patrick Beverley in for Gilgeous-Alexander. And that's good as he hits both of his shots. Clippers trail by 15. Outside Williams. Unloads. They get it back. Here's Harrell. That's his 4th basket of the game, and he's only taken 4 shots. Off to a good start.
Tremendous effort. He will not be denied on the offensive glass.
Now here's Iguodala. He averages about 5 points a game. Now the feed to Thompson. Good for the 5th time in 5 shots. He remains perfect.
Good anticipation there from Iguodala, who is a very good passer.
Williams kicks to Scott. Down low. Here is Cook. Defended by Beverley. Shots good by McKinney.
Up by a bunch. He's still pushing the action, trying to impose his will.
Well, collectively, they've done it tonight here. A passionate performance from the squad.
Now, here is Gallinari. Last game we saw him score 32.
And let's take a look at Danilo Gallinari's numbers. A wonderful string of games he's put together here lately. 14th in free throw percentage, and he's right up there in the top 20 in scoring. Certainly a force to be reckoned with offensively.
And he deserves credit for knocking down such a high percentage of his free throws. It's not a glamour part of the game, but incredibly important nonetheless. That free throw good from Gallinari. Gallinari hits them both. 1:57 left in the first half of basketball. Here is Cook, defended by Beverly. Cook kicks to Thompson. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Good on the triple. Thompson's got 15.
That's Klay Thompson's strength on display. His ability to fire off the catch-and-shoot J. So dangerous.
Harrell with it, picked up by Thompson. There's Williams with the 3, hits it from 3-point range.
That's the second long-range bomb in the quarter after a slow first period. He is on a roll.
Well, we want to thank the sports guy for being here. Enlightening as always. Bill, what a pleasure. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, I hope my son was impressed. Thank you, Kevin.
I'm sure he was. And Brent, always cool, isn't it, to hear what Bill's thinking? He comes at things from a variety of angles.
Yeah, the pop culture stuff and the bits from personal life and his interaction around the game. He certainly has a passion for basketball, and it's great that Bill's adding some color to the audience's experience.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
The first free throw is good. Ranked first in assists for 4 consecutive seasons, Brent. Are these Warriors the best passing team in NBA history?
Well, by the numbers, you would say yes. Assist rates that exceed even the Showtime Lakers back in the early and mid-'80s. Also, this team has been first in offensive efficiency for 3 straight years. I mean, it's been remarkable. So not only the best passing team, but maybe the best offense of all time.
Now, here is Gallinari. He's got 7. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. Why don't we now look at the league's highest scoring teams? The real stats, the real scores from the real NBA. In third, the Warriors. 5th, the Clippers.
You know, both these teams can beat you in so many ways, but it's usually by outscoring you. They possess a whole lot of offensive firepower.
That free throw good from Gallinari.
Well, he's had ankle troubles and knee surgeries. Last season, a gluteal tear. And over the course of his career, injuries seem to be more of a part of what Danilo Gallinari's story is about in the NBA. Hopefully, he'll find some health this year.
And so he hits both. Warriors leading by 14. Cook looking it over. Dishes to Thompson. Just 5 to shoot. That one drops for him. Thompson's got 17 now.
Well, the O looks unstoppable tonight, especially because of that guy. He's just torching them.
And Beverly kicks to Williams. Los Angeles with another miss.
And extending the D there, putting a lot of pressure on the shooter.
I think coaches right here are always talking about the extra pass. And a contested 3 is not your objective. One more, maybe.
Beverly for 3. And so it's the Golden State Warriors with an 18-point lead as the quarter comes to a close. They've been putting on a clinic in the paint. Shots are falling with regularity, and they are pounding it down low. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Alongside Steve Kerr and Coach, what is the offensive approach going to be in the second half?
Well, we just have to do what we do, move the ball and wear them down with our ball movement, our cutting, and our spacing, and set better screens, all the usual stuff.
Yeah, it always seems to work out for you in the long run. Thanks, Steve. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you, and stay with us, folks. We'll be back just after halftime to get the third quarter started.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the NBA on 2K Sports. This is our halftime show. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. Kevin Durant was on fire in the first half. He had 20 points, 3 assists, and 1 steal. First 2 quarters from him were fun to watch. Taking a look at the Warriors, Kenny, what'd you think?
Well, they just about ran their offense to perfection. They pounded the ball inside, and the entry feeds were on time and on the money. It was a clinic to watch. The second half is going to be no contest if they keep getting shots 8 feet and in.
And over to Shaq. Now your take on the Clippers.
Well, they gave up too many good looks. You look at the field goal percentage against them, this tells the whole story. Not enough activity defensively, not enough disruption, Ernie. Like Kenny disrupts me all the time, not enough disruption.
And that's going to do it for us here. The second half of action is coming your way.
And after a very lopsided first half, we'll see if things play out a little more evenly here in the second. What a game we're seeing from Kevin Durant.
Yeah, the rebounding, particularly on the offensive side, as good as it gets. He was bringing the effort down low.
Yeah, those extra possessions, considering how hard it can be sometimes to find offense, become invaluable.
And with the second half upon us, we'll find out if this game becomes the route that it's threatening to be. So for the Clippers right now, Bradley and Gallinari are the wingmen. Harris and Gortat are up front, and it's Gilgeous-Alexander in at the 1. Here's Harris. Gallinari on the wing. Goes up the baseline, and he makes that one. Gallinari's got the first basket of the third quarter for the Clippers.
Sweet shot from Gallo. So many ways he can hurt you.
It's Durant on the wing. Back to Curry. It's stolen by Bradley. To the paint. Here's Harris. And he tries off the glass, but it's no good.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
Thompson for the triple. No good. Shot missing. And it's the Clippers taking it the other way. They'll host the Denver Nuggets after this one. That game will be a quick pit stop before hitting the road again. Kicks it to Gortat. Harris against Green. It's rebounded by Golden State.
Well, he's gotten shots up, but they're not finding the rim. The squad's suffering because of it right now. A bit out of rhythm.
Good on the three-point shot.
Now, right now they're winning because of him. Love the shots that he's taking, and he's got the green light.
Here's Gilgeous-Alexander, guarded by Kerr. Gilgeous-Alexander can't get it to go. Warriors leading by 19 points. Thompson outside. Thompson is double. It's Durant on the wing. Lets it go with a 3. Sinks the three-pointer. Durant's got 23.
And the D has gotten a little bit laxed here defending the triple.
One of my favorite moves is the Euro step. I know it's one of yours as well. There are a lot of guys that can do it well.
Well, I got to see Manu Ginobili step around me for years in San Antonio. But I think James Harden is still the most devastating Euro step player we have in the game. There's something about the lefties, isn't there, Kevin? We have a hard time figuring
they
a
throw
lefty
you off.
out.
They throw you off automatically just by the left hand.
Right.
Then they add the little sidestep.
And James Harden with the shiftiness and the way he moves the ball around and draws contact. I know there are a lot of people that get aggravated by that, but he's nearly impossible to stop, especially when he's got his passport with the Euro step.
He slithers.
Golden State's gone 7 of 11 from deep tonight, using the three-pointer to their advantage. He gets a chance now to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, guys, the Clippers are going in a new direction. Now, Coach Doc Rivers said, we had a shot. I don't think anybody understands how hard it is to win a title. Until you do that, you're going to be frustrated a lot and have to make tough decisions. Kevin?
Well, they're trying to make the right decisions to rebuild better than before, DA. Thanks. Los Angeles calls timeout. You know, Greg, you hear that since Kevin Durant moved to the Bay Area, he's wasted no time making connections and investments in Silicon Valley.
It's interesting. He's reined in his endorsements by over half, but he's so inquisitive. I think meeting these tech luminaries and learning from them was part of the allure of the Golden State. And with a quick break in the action, here's some numbers for Curry. Second in free throw percentage, and of course a knockdown shooter from the perimeter, ranking third in field goal percentage from beyond.
And you never see him get nervous when he steps to the line. That's why he's second in the league in free throw percentage. Now here is Harris, and we know he can score. He's averaging around 21.5 points a game.
Yeah, this roster for the Clippers is in transition, no doubt about it. You think of the franchise's history, plenty of dysfunction, but over the last 5 or 6 years, they've been the best team in LA. Now it's a time for them to reset, try to find some new stars to carry it forward.
Shooting two.
And the first one drops. And Brent, you look at the Clippers ownership group, the front office, the coaching staff. It's a different story now from days past, isn't it?
Well, it just feels a little bit more stable. It just feels like they want to compete at the highest level, and they will do the things necessary to commit to winning. And we've seen that happen pretty quickly for the Clippers.
He hits both from the stripe. Third quarter here, and 3 minutes have come off the clock. Now here's Curry. D right on him. But they get it back. Thompson for the triple. It's hauled in by Harris.
Now you got to fight through things like this right now. His team needs him to shoot better. He's just had a tough quarter.
Pass to Gilgeous-Alexander. It's stolen by Curry. Inside. Shoots from 8. And it's Green missing. Clippers trail by 21. Inside, here's Bradley, and he gets it to go. Bradley's got 9 points.
Great at maintaining some balance on that play. Bradley gets physical, but stays with the play.
Pass to Green. Some solid defense from Harris.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that possession.
Warriors leading by 19. From deep, Green. That doesn't go either for Green. Thompson against Bradley. Over Thompson. The Clippers with a fresh 24. And that one's good by Gortat.
And this is what happens when you fail to block out.
Defensive rebounding just as important as causing the miss in the first place.
Now, here's Thompson. 20 points for him. It's Durant on the wing. Five on the clock. Over Harris, and he gets it to go, hitting off the back of the rim. Durant's got 25 points.
I mean, what a talent this guy is. Durant has the ability to score from anywhere, and now picking his spots.
Harris, no good.
The defensive reaction time, it was just immediate on that one.
You know, sometimes the most important part of that is the angle that the defender chooses. That time, he chose wisely.
Now, here's Green. It's hauled in by Harris.
Yeah, tonight his shot's been a bit off, but still, they lead the game.
Trying to break that ice-cold streak, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for two. Tobias Harris in his 8th season in the NBA and still just 26 years old.
Yeah, I mean, one season at Tennessee, and he has slowly but steadily improved each year. And, you know, he's gotten stronger, more consistent with his long-range shooting, and he's found his calling as one of those prototype small ball fours.
That's good from Harris. Well, we know that Dr. James Naismith came up with the idea when he was teaching at the YMCA. But as far as skill development, Brent, some feel that maybe in the skill category that the USA has fallen behind a little bit. Do you agree?
I think what the United States is doing on that level between your late grade school years and AAU programs in particular and your high school years, that they're trying to address this issue and get ahead of it a little bit. For years, there was a 10-year or 15-year gap about European players being schooled and being in institutions where they were basically young professionals from the age of 12 to 14 having school and basketball and being at a facility for just those things specifically. The last few years, there's been a lot of concern with players being more adept and more skilled here in the States. The change is coming.
Pass to Gilgeous-Alexander. It's a nice passing here by Los Angeles. Gallinari finds Marjanovic. The jump hook, that one falls. Marjanovic has got 6.
Even though they're still trailing, he continues to be lights out from the field. What a competitor.
Durant with it, picked up by Harris. Now here's Livingston. 6 points for him. Curry passes to Green. And the rejection by Marjanovic. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander.
And that's a terrific sequence at both ends there. There was the block shot, then the run out, and nice finish on the break.
On the wing, Thompson. Green kicks to Thompson. Hits the jumper in space. Thompson's got 5 points now this quarter.
Wow, what a setup there. Green plays with great speed and plays with great pace, and that's a nice field play.
To the paint. Here's Harris. Lays it up off the glass. 8 points for him.
The mindset right now is pretty strong. Superb at staying aggressive and right now stringing some plays together.
Thompson right side. Over Gallinari. Off the mark from 16 feet out. On offense, here are the Clippers. They're on a 16-7 run. Outside Durant. There's the dish to Curry. And the rejection by Marjanovic. To the middle. Here's Harris. No good. Durant with some nice D. Thompson for the triple. Gilgeous-Alexander pulls it in. Gilgeous-Alexander's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. And that one's good. Marjanovic.
I love the ball movement there. He put that on a silver platter. Just served him up.
Warriors leading by 11. Outside Curry. Green inside the 3-point line. Off the left rim and out.
You know, not sure if it's him or the defense, but just something's off tonight.
Well, something in this frame for sure, but When you're out of rhythm, sometimes it's better to play the role of being the facilitator.
And so Green will bring it up for Golden State. Earlier, they held a 23-point lead. Following this one, they get to host the Mavericks. That'll be the second of 5 straight played at home. Now here's Durant. 25 points in the game. Brent, has there ever been a player who scores more easily with less effort than Kevin Durant?
Well, I know this, Kevin, that Kevin puts in a ton of work to make it look as easily as it does. There's just nobody that can match up with KD. And when he's playing like this, he gets out into the mid-range and starts to hit a few shots. Watching him be on fire for a night is a treat.
First free throw is good.
Well, with the departure of Chris Paul and the trade of Blake Griffin, the Clippers deciding on a new look and a new direction. The era of Lob City, I think, officially has come to a close.
Catching up on the changes for the Clippers. Montrezl Harrell, he's checked in for Gallinari. Williams comes in for Avery Bradley. And it's Patrick Beverley in for Gilgeous-Alexander. Durant hits them both. And from 2011 to 2017, the Lob City Clippers, as they were called, 50 wins or better pretty much every year.
It was a great team. It just did not have the kind of luck, and trust me, there is luck involved, needed to get themselves to an NBA Finals. A record 6 straight playoff appearances for them. Took a series lead, only to be eliminated, and then a lot of frustration set in because things didn't go the right way. And now a lot of guys not here for the Clippers moving forward.
Scotty's checked in for Marjanovic. Feeds it to Jerebko. Beverly against Curry. And Beverly kicks to Williams. Back to Beverly. Tries a 3. And it's Iguodala with the rebound. Warriors leading by 13. Back to Durant. Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. Williams looking around. Buries it from 3-point range. Williams has got 11.
Well, you got to honor Lou Williams' shot from deep, especially if he's got other things going offensively. Has a great feel from when to pull the trigger.
Here's McKinney. 5 points in the game. And the Warriors miss again. Harris outside. Takes the 3. It's hauled in by Andre Iguodala. Iguodala's got his 4th rebound in this one. Durant, and then Durant with the dunk.
I tell you, Durant's ability to handle the ball at his size, impossible to stop on the drive once he gets that step on you.
Now Beverly, looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game. Harris misses. Warriors leading by 12. Curry kicks to Iguodala. And the jam by Andre Iguodala.
Iguodala getting a bit fancy out there with the ball, toying with the defense.
Iguodala against Williams. Knocks it loose. Harrell finds Williams. Iguodala outside. Outside Durant. The 3. The shot's good on the assist by Iguodala. Iguodala's got his 4th assist in this one.
And defensively, you have got to extend to their shooters. They have been on fire this half.
Yeah, and then the fear sets in that you're going to create driving lanes that could lead to easy buckets. This is not an easy fix.
Here's Curry following the score by Lou Williams. Iguodala outside. Harris inside. He's got 8. Lays it up and banks it in. Harris has got 6 points in the quarter.
And those close-range shots are what you want him taking. They always have a great chance of falling.
8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And that one, good. 34 points for Kevin Durant.
Well, he's got a baton in the right hand as he's orchestrating what's going on. A maestro, if you will.
Williams with the ball. 13 points in the game. Five to shoot. Let's go. It's off.
Iguodala getting his hands up and extending the arms to challenge the shooter.
And so it's the Golden State Warriors. Their lead at 15 going into the break. They've got their field goal percentage to thank for that. They've been hot from all over the floor tonight. And we'll be right back after this. And a moment ago inside the huddle with head coach Steve Kerr.
All right, great pace, great energy. Keep throwing the ball ahead. You guys are just making the simple pass. That's good stuff.
Urging his team quite clearly to keep pushing the break.
And Kevin, Coach Kerr loves the energy right now. He's all about having the pace in his favor.
And 1 quarter to go in a game that to this point has not been an evenly fought contest. Curry at point with McCaw at the 2. They're the backcourt. Jonas Jerebko out there with Durant, and it's Looney in at the 5 spot. That's the Warriors 5. Here's Looney. Rebound by the Clippers. Harris has got 6 rebounds now in the game. Fires the 3. Buries it from 3-point range. Harris has got the first basket as we get going in the 4th for the Clippers. Iguodala, the pass to Curry. Durant feeling it out a bit. Back to Curry. 3-pointer. Drills the 3-pointer.
Got to do your best to make Steph put the ball on the floor. I know he can still do that, but catch and shoot is just deadly.
And Beverly kicks to Harris. We've played just over 1 minute here in the 4th quarter. Outside Williams. No good with the triple. And so Curry will bring it up for the Golden State Warriors. Earlier they held a 23-point lead.
Well, Steph Curry's quick release makes his 3-point shot almost impossible, and then you add the fact that Steph can do it off the dribble. So anytime he gets somebody shifting their back foot and they're trying to recover, by the time they're halfway there, the ball's already off and on its way. So one of the quickest, one of the more devastating shots in all of basketball.
Shooting 2, gentlemen.
And he knocks down the first one. And Curry said in his training he speeds up his release to the point where it's uncomfortable. So in the game, for him, everything slows down.
Yeah, if you look at the numbers, Kevin, his closely guarded 3-pointers are just as accurate as when he's got a wide open 3-pointer. No defender within 4 to 6 feet. He's knocking down the same kind of percentage. So the fact that Steph has the ability and knows to practice those sort of things speaks to just how much he's invested in the shooting craft.
Here's Durant. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws.
Yeah, sure. It's hard to avoid fouling Durant, but the problem is he's hitting 90% for his career from the free throw line. Well, the Warriors returning to San Francisco next season after 48 years in Oakland. That new arena in Mission Bay getting finished up, polished up, fresh paint. It's looking good there. Hopefully it'll be just as rocking as Oracle Arena has been for this many years.
That's good from Durant. Well, Brent, some wondered whether they'd change their name to the San Francisco Warriors, like before. But they're going to stick with Golden State.
Yeah, too much history, I think, in Oakland. They don't want to do anything to disturb the fan base. This is the Bay Area's team, and you mentioned it. It does have a history, Kevin, starting off back in San Francisco in the 60s, and they become a powerhouse. It seems even more fitting to claim the entire state the Golden State Warriors.
Now here's Williams. Beverly finds Harris. Over Iguodala. Los Angeles with another miss.
A slight rebound advantage for them. One more column in their favor, and it's all adding up.
Curry passes to Cook. Back to Curry. Takes the three. That shot is off. And it's the Clippers taking it the other way. The pass to Harrell. At the top of the key, Williams. Harris outside. They get it back. Here's Harrell. And no good. The dry spell continuing for him. Down low. Here's Curry. In the corner, Cook with it. High, arcing shot. He takes it up and lays it in. And the Warriors lead by 21.
Oh, such a field shot there, the floater.
And Beverly kicks to Harrell. He dishes it to Williams. And again, it's the Clippers missing.
Sometimes you just have an off night, guys, and that's what we've seen so far.
And yes, it's good. Durant's got 40 points.
This is great to see him take over in stretches like this, coming alive at just the right time.
Harris inside. He's covered by Iguodala.
And with a monster finish, he stops an 11-0 run by Golden State.
Curry against Beverly. Outside Durant. And then Durant with the jam.
And here's the best way to get an earful from your coach. Give Kevin Durant that kind of path to the basket. Wow, discussion to follow.
Now here's Gortat. Outside Williams. It's good from long range.
Well, he now has 4 3-pointers this game, guys. 2 in each half. He's really spacing out the floor for his teammates.
Now a timeout called by Golden State.
You know, there are certain players who just seem to have a knack for putting the ball in the basket. Lou Williams is in that category.
And the Warriors with some changes. Green comes in for Andre Iguodala. And it's Klay Thompson in for Cook. And then for the Clippers, Gallinari, he's checked in for Montrezl Harrell. Avery Bradley comes in for Lou Williams. And Gilgeous-Alexander is subbed in for Patrick Beverly. Gilgeous-Alexander. And the Clippers getting another bucket right there. Warriors leading by 18. Curry finds Green. Here's Looney, guarded by Harris. Gallinari against Durant. Lays it up and banks it in. Durant's got 44.
And Kevin Durant, simply one of the game's greatest scorers of all time.
Gallinari passes to Harris. Tearaway warm-ups have long been a feature of the NBA. But last season, the new tearaway jerseys, they just kept ripping apart.
The old uniform malfunction, Kevin, last year. Yeah, maybe.
You even had a couple malfunctions, and that was odd.
Well, the tie, bad tie. I always have bad ties.
You know,
I think they're looking back at the material choices for what they're doing. So maybe there'll be some subtle changes into this year. But it was interesting in the early part of last year. A lot of guys with a finger underneath the arm and pulling away a jersey and ripped away. So maybe the supplier will do something about the fabric this year.
Shot's good by Durant.
This guy is just shredding the defense right now. He's hitting any shots he's putting up.
Passes it to Gortat. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. Pass to Harris. He kicks it to Gallinari. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. The Clippers last season really proving the value of the new two-way contracts. G League players who could step up and play a lot of time with the parent club.
I mean, the Agua Caliente, that's the name of their G League squad, was huge last year as the Clippers pretty much became the lab rats for how these two-way contracts were going to work, how you move players up and down between the rosters. And Doc found some real winners last year that came in and started a ton of games for Doc Rivers, and their contributions almost got them to the playoffs.
No good on that one. They are now showing NBA games in virtual reality. You and I have actually seen some examples of that. They can recreate almost any angle. Have you gotten a headset?
I haven't gotten a headset, Kevin, but I have watched it. You and I have talked about it several times.
Many times.
It's an amazing experience, and it will only get better. But I really think about if I was a kid growing up in Germany or Italy, and I had an opportunity to pull on a pair of goggles and to watch the game's greatest players from a seat at half court or the cameras that they set up underneath the goal at either end. What a fantastic way to be enveloped by the NBA game.
It's a cool view.
It's a very cool view, and it's only going to get better.
Yeah. Here's Harris following the basket by Stephen Curry. Harris's shot is good.
You know, you hear that A word all the time, aggressive, and sometimes just being that can turn your game around. He's been that in the second half, their go-to guy here.
Now flying high and throwing it down with the one hand.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander following the score by Golden State. Here's Gortat. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
Two shots.
And he makes the first. And Marcin Gortat, the Polish hammer, in the final year of a 5-year, $60 million deal. Greg, he's been worth every penny.
He has, but he turns 35 this season. He'll be motivated to earn that next contract, but now on the downslope. We may see his role evolve over the next few years.
Both free throws, good from Gortat. Game is so wide open now, Brent. Such a great pace. Does that put more strain on bigger players physically?
I think it's putting strain on everybody. I think last year we saw
regardless of size.
Yeah, injuries to every position, the key guys at every position. I think that some of the physical motions that players have to perform in games because they're covering more ground and in susceptible positions, it's happening to everybody. The issue with the big guys, Kevin, is they're not playing. Less of them are getting more important time on the floor, so it's a strain on everybody.
And that one falls for Looney.
Well, the success of the Warriors is truly built around their culture and their chemistry, and it really starts with Steph Curry. Even though a lot of people argue about Kevin Durant being their best player, their most important player has been Steph. Just a great, joyful approach to the game, and it rubs off on the entire organization.
Warriors leading by 21. Durant kicks to Curry. Pass to Thompson. The tray. Out of bounds, the Clippers take possession. And a moment here to check out who the Golden State Warriors have coming up. They'll face off against DeAndre Jordan and the Dallas Mavericks. Then on Sunday, they'll be playing against Lou Williams and the Los Angeles Clippers.
And that game against the Lakers, that's a contest that could easily go either way. Small mistakes could be the difference, and both teams will need to be at their best.
And that blend of joyfulness and competitive spirit, something that Steph Curry and his coach, Steve Kerr, Brent, they share that in common.
Yeah, think about just how humble they are, how gracious they are, how much they're willing to take the time on a daily basis to do things for others,
One shot, gentlemen.
not just themselves. So you have the Warriors with some key values in place that they don't stray from all that often.
Warriors leading by 18. Curry kicks it to Looney. Now the pass to Thompson. 5 on the clock. Fires at the elbow. Good work there as it goes. Thompson's got 24 points.
Somewhat remote odds of Klay Thompson missing on that kind of attempt. Just chalk it up.
Outside Bradley. You look around the NBA, amazing players, global interest, franchise values are going through the roof. Do you feel like the league is entering a golden age, if it's not already in a golden age?
I think it is, Kevin, at least offensively. What we've seen over the last 5 years with the adoption of most of the teams of the three-point shot, it's been some of the greatest offensive basketball the league has ever seen. And this idea that the evolution of the game stopped when it is at number 23 retired is kind of silly. I love where the game is at. I love where it's going. And I'm excited to be here tonight to watch this action with you.
Which number 23? We've got two pretty prominent number 23s in the history of this game.
I was thinking the
most
one
recent
I played
23?
against. Yeah,
oh,
that
that 23.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Not a lot of resistance on the inside, and they're taking full advantage.
And the Clippers call time here. Klay Thompson came into this NBA with a well-earned reputation as a shooter, Brent, but did you ever think he'd become such a potent defender?
Well, I think it's something that he's worked very hard on, and his ability to cross-match. In the early part of his career, Klay Thompson had to take the better scoring of the guards on those nights. It's shifted back, and Klay Thompson is a more well-rounded understanding not only of what he can do defensively, but more of what the opponents that he faces on a nightly basis are trying to do against him.
And now we've got a moment for our Jordan Player of the Game, Kevin Durant.
And guys, he's been about as close to perfection as you can be. The intensity he's played with has been amazing. Just no let up. And as fired up as he's been, he's never let his emotions get out of control.
And this is exactly what a star player is supposed to do. Coming off a loss, he made sure they weren't going to make it 2 in a row. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. It's stolen by Curry. Thompson finds Curry. Here's Looney. Outside Durant. Certain guys can play within themselves and still dominate. You played along one of the best that you saw up close in Tim Duncan.
One of the things I think about with Tim is how many numbers he left on the board, Kevin. The way that Coach Popovich played him, minimal minutes, touches when needed most, where Tim usually came through, but how much more dominant he truly could have been.
And he didn't care about numbers, did he?
Not at all. He cared about one number, and that's putting W's on the board. But how many more things Tim Duncan would have led categorically in the history of the NBA at the power forward position, but overall, the numbers would have been staggering.
So here's Gallinari. Kevin Durant picking up that last basket. And again, no good by the Clippers. Curry looking around. We've got 1:55 left in the fourth quarter. Oh, and here comes Gilgeous-Alexander all alone.
And showing a good nose for the ball there. Picks it clean, and he's off to the races.
And a good decision on the move. Too often we see teams have this kind of opportunity and fail to convert.
Here's Green. That shot no good. Some solid defense from Harris. Bradley, that's for two. Misses off the left iron. And so Curry will bring it up for the Golden State Warriors. Earlier, they held a 23-point lead.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Warriors.
And guys, the fast break was run, I thought, beautifully all night by these guys. I think that was a big part of their success.
Yeah, they definitely ran the break well. A big advantage in that category, and they continually put pressure on the defense.
And so looking at their number, this will be win number 22 on the year. And you know, when you look at the huge impact he had, just a monster game for Kevin Durant.
Well, he could not be stopped on offense. Super efficient tonight. There wasn't a lot the defense could do.
Two shots.
And he makes the first. Brent, a major pivot for the Clippers last season, trading away the most important player in franchise history, Blake Griffin.
Well, the front office made mention of sustainability and production over cost, and felt like it was the right time for them to move on. The size of that max contract, the injury risk of Blake Griffin and what's happened and transpired the past couple of seasons convinced them that they might be able to clear that out of the way, get some flexibility, and rebuild the roster in the way that they wanted to moving forward.
Now here's Livingston. There's 57 seconds left in the game. Cook dishes to Livingston. On the wing, it's Iguodala. Shot clock at 5. Shoots over Scott. Iguodala with the bucket.
Running up the score, showing no mercy.
Well, you want to close the door on any type of comeback effort. This has been a vault. Ka-ching.
You're right. Now, here is Gallinari. Pass to Gilgeous-Alexander. Right block shot. That one's not going to go. And Golden State will come the other way. 2 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Jerebko, the pass to Livingston. Golden State moving it around. Kicks to Jerebko. Back to Livingston. Passes it to McKinney. Iguodala left side. And he hits it just before the shot clock expires.
And you can tell they're ready to start celebrating a well-deserved victory here tonight.
Yeah, you can see the fans. They've already started celebrating themselves. A gutty performance.
So we see the Warriors taking the game here. They won this game going away. They were the better basketball team by far tonight.
And you got to commend this sort of dominance, particularly here at home. It's a great feeling when you play almost a perfect game and to have that crowd be so pumped up.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much, Kevin. Night and day for the defense. What was better in the second half?
Well, early in the game, they got some easy threes, 4 or 5 threes. And they're a great shooting team, and they're great in the paint. So we just had to make a second effort. I think the only adjustment we made was playing harder. And we just got to continue to keep playing together on both ends.
Yeah, Chuck Daly used to always say defense is all about effort, and you showed it tonight. Thanks. Back to you, Kevin.
David, thank you as always. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Brett Berry, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew. We'll see you next time.